Right, we started the recording. Right, guys, let's go through your mechanics training regime. So the first thing I've got for you here is a nice little warm-up pack. This one is a separate video. I give this to all my students, so you've got access to this. I use this every single day I play. It's a really nice warm-up pack. It's got all the applicable mechanics that you're going to need to be doing straight away from the off, and it's a really good way to kind of hit them all before you get going. You don't have to use this, but I recommend you use this. You can do a combination or do your own training pack. But yeah, that's what I recommend. And then right here, I've got some custom training good habits. I use backers mod with low variance because it just helps it be not so consistently in the same spot, and so you have to try and react to things a little bit more. And then I also recommend turning off the randomized order thing, because a lot of these training packs are in a really nice order, which makes them useful to progress through. So we've got some mechanics here that I think will be good for you guys. You could do it together in a call, or you could do it in your own time, whatever you want to do. But we've got 8 sessions here, which I recommend going through them one day at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, through to 8. But then once you've gone through them all once, you can then just go back and repeat them in your own time. Maybe you can do half and half, whatever it is. And if you really want to grind out mechanics, I'm not going to tell you off for that. Feel free to just do 2 of them in the same day, you know, 30 minutes one, 30 minutes the other. So let's just get into it. So the first one is that grounded, getting used to ground speed into fast aerial or hit of the ball. So I just want you to get used to using your mechanics whilst moving at speed. So we'll go into custom training, ultimate warm-up, and your aim is to stay on the ground as long as possible, then jump up from the ground with momentum, focusing on getting clean touches on the ball whilst having ground momentum. So with this one, you're not going to fly from over here, because that's not game applicable. You're going to stay on the ground as long as possible, and then jump up. And you're going to find you're going to go too early sometimes, and that's what you're trying to practice it. You're trying to get used to jumping as late as possible to experience what it's like to jump with that momentum, right? So that's what this is about, and you can see some of the shots you'll find you can stay on the ground quite a while. Obviously I'm jumping way too late right here, but that's what you're practicing, right? You're trying to get used to what that feels like. And then once you start getting better at it, you'll get a much better read of them, and you'll be able to do much more with them, right? As it goes along, you're going to improve, right? The point is that this is why you're practicing it. You want to stay grounded as long as possible, and because that's much more game applicable. Some of them later on will be more shots like that. Zing that one in. And you're just trying to get used to striking the ball at speed, right? Because in a game, it's very tricky to time that ball with speed. If you go slowly, it's a lot easier to kind of just time it, right? But in a game, you're going to have to beat people to the ball, and you might have to hit it on the volley. You might have to hit it cleanly and react to it, you know? So that's what we're doing here, is we're trying to get used to striking the ball with speed. So yeah, that's the pack. You'll notice there, with that ground speed, how useful that is in those kind of situations. Okay, so that's the training pack.
Are all the sessions in this one training pack?
No, they'll be in all different ones.
Okay.
So you can see the codes in the document, and then the name of the training pack there. I think I've got them all right.
See that middle part.
Yeah. So then the next one is off the wall hits and clears. Now this one is a fantastic training pack, and it's one that I love doing. It's where is it? It's this one, wall defense. So what you're aiming to do with these is you see the 4 corner boosts, so you got the corner boost on that side, corner boost down there, and then the 2 mid boosts. Consciously before every shot, you're going to try and choose one and hit it to it. So I'm going mid left, and then you just try and hit it mid left again, and you go like back left, and you're aiming to jump off the wall with air roll. And you'll notice even now, as I'm not actually telling you which one I'm going for, but you can very clearly see which one I'm aiming for, just because of the touch, right? That one probably not so much, but you get the gist, right? And then if you want to really test yourself, this will get you in better habits of off-the-wall aerialing. Try and do it without the dodge. And this will test your flying off the wall and accuracy of the hit. And then if you do this for a while, you'll find that when you try it with the dodge, you'll have a much better time because you won't be relying so much on the dodge for the adjustments. You'll be relying on the aerial itself for the adjustments. And so now that if I dodge at it, I'll have much more control because I'm actually not having to use the dodge for the adjustment, I'm having to use the dodge for the power.
Is it fair to try these things without boost?
You could do that as well, yeah. So you could go up and try it that way. Some of these shots might be quite tricky with that, and actually as you get later on, the boost is quite important. But yeah, that's a fair mindset with some of these to test your ability. But remember our mindset is to be rotating in a way whereby we have boost as often as possible. So hopefully we're going to find that with the momentum, with the boost efficiency, with the rotating out and rotating in more, you'll find you're not going to have to make harder reads without boost. But yeah, you can like do that for like 5 minutes, say, as part of each of the training.
I knew you were gonna say that, but
yeah. So that's
like no, because you should have boost already.
yeah. I mean, honestly, one of the things I did for a while was you do the goalie training without boost, try and practice goal line saving without boost, and it's a good way to practice quick up aerialing without boost and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this one is really about striking the ball nice and cleanly so that you get really solid clears when you do have, say, like you only need like 24 boost to do what I was doing there. So yeah, that's the mindset with that wall one. I will actually jump now because it's very similar in the way it works to session 7. So with this one, it's the aerial off the wall pack. What's the top one there? So with this one, you're going to do the same thing, right? Where you're just going to fly off, aim for the net. But if you do it without the dodge, you'll find that actually when you do then try and dodge, it's going to be a lot cleaner just because you're not relying on the dodge here, you know, like you're not going like that. You're going to be getting to the ball, and then you're going to have the dodge there when you get to the ball. So yeah, that's the aim of this pack. Like even with this one, right? Like you can get to it without using your dodge. Do it a few times like that. And then you're going to try with the dodge. And you'll find that you'll strike the ball a lot cleaner. So yeah, that's this pack. So that's session 7. It's a really good training. Like I said, the key is practicing without the dodge and then doing it with the dodge. So then we'll go to ground shooting. So this one has 2 trainings in it. And it's really good fun. So ground shooting, we're going to go ground shots by Paquito. And the aim with this is you're trying to hit top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right on the first 8 shots. So, you know, you're going to drive up and you're going to try and hit top corner. Because of the mirroring effect, you might think of it more as near top corner and far top corner. Because they do feel slightly different. And so then I've hit near top corner. Now I want to hit far top corner, which tends to be a lot harder because you have to kind of glance it across. This is so awkward with the borderless. Timing's really hard.
I've never played borderless.
And recording and the streaming. Anyway, the point is you're going to aim for each of those positions, and until you've done it in each of those positions, you don't move on. And you can't just go, let's hit it and see where it goes. Okay, that was bottom right. You got to consciously choose a location and then do it there. Because in a game, you need to be able to shoot in a specific point or hit a pass in a specific point. This is about pinpoint accuracy. And what you'll find is it's quite hard to time the ball when it's rolling along the floor. And so again, like we did with the aerials, you might just want to go for it with a little jump and a little air roll and get used to just hitting the ball without dodge. Because actually that's where the accuracy comes from, is that motion. And then the dodge is just there for the cleaner strike, a slight bit of extra power, the control. Because do you see how I actually dodge after the shot there? So yeah, that's what it's about on that one. And like I said, the first 8 shots you'll be able to do that on. This one's quite tricky for that, so maybe you'll by 8 you'll want to start doing other stuff. But the point is, after this, it's up for you to be a little bit creative. So with this, you know, like imagine there's someone in net and then you want to try and cut, shoot. It's up to you to sort of bring out some funky mechanics and try them. And then when it's on the wall, what do we try and do whenever we're going through boards? We want to stay grounded as long as possible and then go for it. Same with this one, stay grounded, give yourself plenty of room and use your momentum, etc, etc. And yeah, that's this training pack. So that's session 3. Then session 4, this is a really fun one, right? This is one that I created yesterday, and genuinely this was the most fun training I've ever done. And I'm not even just saying that because it's new. It might be just because of that, but it's using the ground shots again. Now this one's about recovery speed. So this is what we described, right? You want to be able to recover quickly. Now, this is very game applicable because what you're trying to do is you're trying to, on every single shot, you're going to try and land on the goal or on the wall by the goal with all 4 wheels, either on this side or on the opposite side. And you can do it in whatever way you think is most efficient. So I normally just wave dash into it like that. And then you're going to collect a mid boost and then you're going to score. And you've got 10 seconds to do it on every single shot. So you're going to go in, you're going to land on the wall, go get mid boost, find a way to score the ball as efficiently as possible. You know? So you're going to do it like that. And you're going to do that on every single shot. No matter where the ball goes, you're going to go to the wall, go to the mid boost, try and score the ball. Right? And you're going to do that all the way through.
That's hard.
It's hard, and it's good fun as well because you know you get that. You get that 0-second feeling when it gets to the ball, and you're like, I gotta get it there. One thing I will say is shot 9 is impossible. Other than that, I've tested it all the way up to shot 36, and it's possible on all of them. 36 is impossible. 37, it took me like 25 attempts, and I definitely think it was the low variance that managed to put it in a position where it was possible. But yeah, this one I had to like literally speed flip like up to the wall, catch it, and then go to like mid boost, and then even then it was like super close. Like you could see how close that was. I didn't do that perfectly efficient, but yeah, 37, and then yeah. So you can have some fun with this and really try and like test your optimal speed around the pitch. I technically missed the boost there, so that wouldn't have counted. But yeah, and then it's up to you to find the quickest route to net. Whether you want to just pick it up and carry it the whole way, or especially on the earlier ones, you can find banging it into the corner to be a way to do it. You know, like you got there, you get the mid boost. On this one, you can bang it into the corner and score that way, whatever. So yeah, that's that training. That one will be a lot of fun, and that's one that I'm doing so much at the moment. It's so much fun. Then we've got uncomfortable hits. So this one is using the ultimate warm-up again. So we're using that same training pack. Ultimate warm-up. So with this one, what you're going to be doing is on every single shot, you're going to be doing something similar to that last training pack, whereby you're going to give yourself a challenge to make it different. So for this one, you're going to do a sort of like 15 boost front flip to try and then make it awkward for yourself. To try and replicate that kind of game environment where you've dodged back into the play, or you're dodging to move around the pitch, or say you've dodged and chaos has ensued and you have to turn onto the play. Whatever it is, you're going to do that dodge. If you think you can get it straight away, go straight away. For a lot of them, you'll have to then realign in a way that puts you in a good position. So it'll get you used to kind of power sliding, ready for that clear. And then what you're going to try and do is, for the most part, shoot it towards the net. But ultimately, for a lot of these, you're just going to aim to just clear it long into the opponent's half. So I would think of this one as like a big bang into their half is a good thing to go for. And you'll find as you go on, you start to go underneath the ball, in which case you want to recover quick. And then you can bang it. Like even this one, you actually dodge under the ball, in which case you want to get around it nice and quick. And even like later on, there's some where it's literally like ground shots, right? Where you now have to just go, okay, how can I get to this ball? And how can you score it efficiently? So it's got a similar kind of vibe to the other training pack. It's just this one's a little less of a journey of recovery and more of a short journey of recovery. And what it will do is it will really practice that moving out of the front flip to into a comfortable position kind of thing, right? So like in here, you can see how I'm already turning out of the dodge to get into a better position and use a lot of power slide, etc. So that's that training session. And these would be good fun to do together in a call if you wanted to, but otherwise you can do this in your own time, right? Then we've got hard goalie reads. This is just a really good training pack. And there's, I said to you guys earlier that we're going to look at a specific dodge option coverage situation. And this training pack is one that's really good for practicing that, because there is a very specific scenario in game that people come across where they don't save their dodge, and actually saving their dodge would be a very smart thing to do, and that is in this kind of situation. So for the first one, for the first two in fact, I would recommend testing your power slide boomers, because it's quite good fun for that. And also you can kind of use that similar mindset to the wall clears one, whereby you can use the boosts in each section as a thing to aim at. You know, like here you can go back right. You can even put it into the back left if you're good enough, like that. So you can use this as a kind of way to practice that. But yeah, it's a really good practice for that. So the first two you can do that, and then from 3 onwards you're just going to be doing shadow defense saves. And what you'll notice is half of them you can jump up with a dodge, half of them you'll have to use your double jump. So it's really good practice, and some of them actually with the low variance are on the cusp of being dodge and not dodge. And so this is a really good chance for you to practice those two scenarios. So this one, for example, is very clearly a dodge one, whereby you want to jump up and use your dodge. That one, you could probably say maybe a dodge. You know, you could potentially use your dodge in this one. Probably want to use your dodge more often. But then it's going to get higher and higher, and you're going to want to use your double jump. And so that's what you're practicing with this pack, and it's just really good practice for that. And then you can even, like with this one for example, you can go, actually I need to put this back left, or I need to put this onto the backboard whereby I can catch it and go again. You know, like you got to think up, you got to consciously think of ways to take control of this ball and put it in a place different, because that's going to be what happens in a game, right? You need to make it game applicable. So again, try and recognize those ones where you could use a dodge. Like that one, you might not think to use a dodge in a game, but actually that's going to give you way more options when you fly up for that ball. And the main thing here as well is it's really good air roll practice. You can see actually there, you can see a good example of double jumping being a negative, because it took away my options. And if I was an opponent and saw myself double jump there, I would be like, right, this is where he's going to hit it. So it takes away your options. So that's what this training pack's all about. Really good fun practice, great hard goalie read practice. And like I said, it's good for differentiating those dodge versus no dodge situations. And then other than that, we've got one last session, which I'm sure you've all done before, especially watching you guys in game. I can see that you're all very capable of it. Is the free play, roll the ball up the wall, get creative scenario. The idea of chuck the ball at the wall, consciously think of what you're going to do off the wall. Like I'm thinking air dribble, right? So I'll air dribble that off the wall. Maybe you go, I need to do a ceiling shot. So you hit it at the wall and go, right, we're going to do a ceiling shot now. And then you can practice your ceiling shots, etc, etc. And that's going to be your chance to be creative with those off the wall mechanics. And that's pretty much the 8 sessions that I've got planned out for you. They're all based off of what I saw. They're all personalized to you as a team. Some of you want to do ones more than the others, but I really think the best ones for you are going to be the 2 that are in the ground shots training pack, the 2 that are in the ultimate warm-up pack. They're going to be really good for you as a team. And then the aerial off the wall and wall hits, they're good for every player at high GC. They're going to make you way more consistent when you're up in the air in awkward angles. And then the goalie clear pack, again, is very similar to that. So yeah, get stuck in with those. Other than that, I would just like to highlight some free play habits that would be really good for you guys. So when you're in free play, I do recommend half and half, trying to do some with unlimited boost on, some without. It'll get you in good habits of not wasting boost and picking up pads more. Especially, I think I saw a few of you, it wasn't so much Wheat, but I think Yorn and Zeke tended to leak a little bit of boost in the midfield. So just really practicing hitting the ball around, following it, trying to keep yourself as high boost as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You got any questions on the mechanics training regimes?
I do. Just as a coaching standpoint, like when you coach players, do you get in a call and make sure that they're doing this, or do you just trust that they're doing these things?
I mean,
I trust that these guys will do this. I just
yeah,
would like to know, like, hey, are you not doing this specific one because you're struggling with it?
yeah, I think the key is whenever you get together as a team is to talk about it. Sort of say, have you done this pack? Have you tried it? How did it go? How long did you do it for? And I think that's going to be key for you guys to keep track of yourselves. And I think you guys will notice the difference if you do them, so that will keep you doing them. But yeah, being good at something is an intrinsic motivating situation. You got to come from within to want to improve. And it sounds like you guys all want to do that. And ultimately, grinding out mechanics is something that no coach can do. No coach can make you do the reps. Especially with gaming, it's very difficult to force someone to do something when you're not in person with them. So you've just got to trust the players, and you guys as a team have got to trust each other and go, right, we're doing it. And ultimately, let's just say Zeke comes into a training session and goes, oh, I did session 1, session 2. Did you like this shot? Oh, and starts talking about it. And then we and Yorn are sitting there going, oh, I didn't do that. I just played rank 2s for a bit, you know? That's going to motivate those two to go, actually, I should go away and do this training because Zeke's done it. So it's going to have to be like a team pushing each other, coach pushing each other, you wanting to celebrate the fact that you've done it, because ultimately grinding out mechanics is going to make a massive difference, and it is one of the differentiators with top players and the rest. So yeah, that's where it's going to come from. So it's up to you guys to have that intrinsic motivation and go, I'm going to dedicate the first hour of my session to doing a warm-up pack and then doing session 1 or whatever. And make sure you don't just do the mechanics that you enjoy, do the mechanics that you need to do, and do all of the mechanics. Because if you just do double touches all the time, I actually, for some people, I put in this Devo pack, which I recommend as well. And it's yeah, and it's just
I love it.
It's just about hitting these all day long, right? Now this is great, but there's so many mechanics that I saw with you guys that will be much more useful for your fundamentals and with the way you're planning to play with momentum and everything, that this kind of thing is great, but this is the kind of thing we can talk about in 4 weeks time to integrate, right? Like, you could happily sit there and do this all day because it's fun, but there's mechanics that you guys can work on that will be more beneficial to your game right now, and will ultimately help you with double touching long term, just because of the benefit they have to your mechanics. Make sense?
Yeah. And like, I guess another question would be, like, you gave us a lot to go off of with warming up and things like that, and these guys like to play in tournaments, but like, what would be considered more of a proper warm up before these guys get together? Like, they like to play comp to get used to the threes feel.
So,
but also, like, I think that sometimes the training packs get disregarded just more for free play.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's
that all makes sense. You're kind of asking, like, on a competitive day, what's the best kind of regime to go for? And I think firstly, start early. Don't go in and rush your warm up. Keep yourself kind of ticking over, but not like burning yourself out. So don't just go 2 hours solid. Kind of come in, do half an hour, play a bit of ranked, take a break, come back in. You know, like, keep your mind focused but also relaxed. So take little breaks, go get a drink, go grab some food or whatever it is. But yeah, I think free play is a really good place to start every single day. Pop into free play first, then you can check out the Gregan GC warm-up pack. if you go through this and complete this, that'll set you up for Rocket League really nicely. Then these other trainings that I gave you, they're more for development of skills long term. On a game day, you shouldn't really be doing those because these are training, they're not warm-ups. So your Gregan GC warm-up should be good. And then to get your game sense kind of in tune, a bit of ranked is good. What most pro teams will do is they'll have a scrim before any big tournament. I don't know if that's going to be easy for you to organize or possible for you to organize, but doing
like
some
the day of or the day before?
the day of.
Day of.
So
Day of, okay.
before every RLCS match, a team will have a scrim to warm up. They'll do like five to 6 games normally. Sometimes only 3 if they've got a lot on in a day. Say you've got a double header, they often just do like a 2-3 game to warm back up for the second game, and that will just get you tuned in as a team. That allows you as the coach to do those final little tweaks and sort of say, hey, we're being a little bit too aggressive, let's kind of calm it down, and then you can fine tune those last few little things and then go into the tournament ready. Normally before that scrim, most pro teams will do their own warm up individually and maybe a bit of rank together. I mean, back in the day when we used to be at DreamHacks, Fairy Peak, K-Dop and Scrub will be grinding out 2s ranked, then we'd do a scrim to warm up, then we'll go into the match. You know, like it's preference down to the players, but ultimately I think free play, warm up pack, bit more free play, a bit of ranked to work together, then team warm up together, whether it's ranked 3s with comms or whatever it is, but just to kind of get you guys in gear and get you kind of focused, so that when you hit that first game, from the first moment, you've warmed up everything. You've warmed up your mechanics, you've warmed up your game sense, you've warmed up your team mindset, and then you're ready to go. That's what I'd recommend. Any more questions?
Sweet.
I think so.
All right.